Hi, this is Natalie Rydstrom here from SportsBookReviews.com. Sporting KC host first place Seattle Sounders in the All-West matchup on Saturday. Joining us now is sports writer Kevin Stott. He's on the line. He's going to preview the match, and do stay tuned for his tips at the end. Now, this is the second time they meet in almost as many weeks, which ended 0-0. Now Sporting have the home advantage. Could we see a different outcome?
A different outcome as opposed to a tie or a 0-0?
0-0 scoreless, yeah.
Yeah, I actually have predicted the same exact thing, I believe. I think I have predicted a 0-0 score, which you don't find in handicapping much. But I've thought this one out, and I actually watched the last game that they played. Seattle only had one shot on goal. The last two times Sporting Kansas City has played, they've allowed one shot on goal and one shot on goal. So that's incredible defense. That's a commitment to playing defense and expending your energy to defense. Now, Seattle's probably the best team in the league, and they're going to go in there it's in Seattle, so they're going to remember what had happened, and Sporting Kansas City is going to go up to Seattle and try and do the same thing, play good defense knowing it's in Seattle. So I think this is just going to be, even though it's the best game of the week, it could have like 7, 8 good shots on goal, and with both good goalies and both great teams, this could be 1-0 either way, or it could be 0-0, and I think with the value lies in the 0-0 reality.
Yeah, that's right. I think we're going to see great football. I think it could be a low score as well. And Seattle Sounders, they are at the top of the East Conference, and I think they'll probably want to stay there. Could this be reflected in their play and make it difficult for the home team, thus sort of leading to that sort of like low-scoring match? Yeah,
Seattle, just because they have two of the best strikers in the league, in Martins and Clint Dempsey, total of 13, 14 goals now, but they play great defense too, and sometimes that's lost in the press. Hey, Seattle's on top of the table. Seattle has these two great scorers. They are playing great defense. That's why they're on top, you know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're going to have to play great defense. They already know from recent memory that they just played Sporting Kansas City in Kansas City, Kansas. So they're going to be like on their best behavior too. They know. Listen, Natalie, they know that this is a team that can come up to Seattle and beat them. So they're going to have that in the back of their mind, which is also conducive to the under to me. This is not going to be it theoretically could evolve into a blowout, but with these two teams and their MO and defense and how good they are and how much pride they have, I see 2 goals at the most in this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I do like the under there, -133 Labrooks. I also like both teams to score no, and that's +100 there, even money, doubling your money. What do you like about do you like both teams to score no?
I've been writing and doing this for so long, I always look at both teams to score yes. I never really thought in the context. There's so few games that you think that's actually a brilliant point. There's so few games that you ever think that you could actually predict a 0-0. That particular props wager never pops in my mind. Mm-hmm. Plus, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, where we don't have that, by the way. Yeah. But that's actually that's a pretty good bet. That way, if one team scores, if it's 1-0, you win that bet, right? Yeah,
that's right. And it doesn't matter who scores the goal. It's a great bet when it's going to be a tight game, and we could see one goal from either side. Again, if neither scores, then the bet comes through as well.
Yeah, that's an ideal type of thing. I got to work that into my repertoire in writing here. When a game, but there's like I said, there's so few games. You have to really know what you're doing. But there's so few games that could ever be 0-0, let alone have somebody handicap at 0-0. Because you're thinking, what does that mean? You know, the novice looking in, like, what does that mean? You have to watch the games and know the defense and know the sport to realize that because like that could never happen in hockey. Only in European football, soccer could you have a 0-0. But like if there was one game that could be a 0-0, of course the fans and I think this game is on ESPN. This is the type of game that the networks and the fans don't want to be a 0-0 game. But what we want as fans and viewers is sometimes different than what happens for gamblers.
Very, very true. Let's take a look at the winners market now. Sporting KC is +120 Labrooks. Seattle Sounders is +225 also with Labrooks. And the draw is +210 also with Labrooks. Is there any value in the winners market, and who are you pointing to win?
Okay, I think I've got this backwards too. Okay, so everything I was saying, the first game was in Seattle, that was 0-0. This one is in Sporting Kansas City.
That's right.
Which is 0-0. I see, yeah, so that's why it was 220. Okay, one more. Are you asking me if I had to take a team, who would I take here?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's just. I mean, this is Natalie. That's just like my head could pop here. That's a tough question.
You don't have to play it if you don't. If you're going to skip that market, we can skip, and you can tell us what your top tip is.
Let me say it to you and the listeners this way: if Sporting Kansas City was that great and that defensive and that confident to go up to Seattle, not let Seattle score at CenturyLink Field less than 2 weeks ago, and now we're going back to Kansas, and they're going to play there, you would have to lean towards the home team. They have to be confident. They had to draw some confidence out of the reality that they let, in my opinion, the best team in the league right now not score on them in their own home soil. That's super. That's huge for confidence. Whether or not Kansas City can get that goal at home is where I have the big mental dilemma here. I'd love to just give them a goal because it's at home. Almost any team in the league, any of the other 18 teams, I would give the yes. But they're playing Seattle. And Seattle's going to remember that 0-0. So I think we could. Logic says somebody scores here. But,
yeah. So then the both teams to score bet comes in, right?
Yeah.
If somebody.
And logic says it would be the home team here. But I'd stay away from that. I think it's one of those games that the under is real strong. The under looks beautiful. The under looks like a solid $100 straight bet. The draw looks enticing because it could be 0-0 because of what we've talked about. It could be 1-1 because of what we talked about. Those two things are very enticing. Everything beyond that, it's flighty in my mind. Anything could happen.
All right, but I tell you one thing's for certain, I think we're going to see some great football on Saturday there, so I'm looking forward to that match. And if you'd like a more detailed review here of the match, Kevin has written an article posted on SportsBookReview.com. The link can be found in the description below this video. Do be sure to check it out. Kevin, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you, Natalie. Enjoy it.